Hello, and welcome back to Kerbal Decoy, was what I almost said. That's hilarious. Welcome back to Kerbal Decoy Plays Cardboard Space Program. Yes, last video we finished making this little thing here. There's nothing too complicated about it. We just have new solid fuel boosters and a new way to decouple things. Actually, let's make sure our staging is correct here. It is not. Alright, we want all of those to fire at once, and then that blows up, and then whenever that blows up, we fire off that rocket, and yeah, that should work out okay, and we want to have one more staging. If we have to reset, which I'm resistant to doing, although I do kind of want Jebediah Kerbin to live forever. That's just a personal preference of mine. But yeah, okay, let's see. Let's go ahead and launch. Whee! Oh boy, I already know the first problem. Let's do that. That'll help us with the spin. Spinning is pretty normal. It's usually because there's a slight imbalance, and you can see where the imbalance is because it's not quite centered on the struts here that are set to explode and release afterwards. But that's fine. That's totally fine. This is all par for the course in Kerbal Space Program as far as I'm concerned. We could probably add some fins to add a little bit of extra control. I believe I have fins to do that. But until this thing basically proves that it's impossible to run, I'm not going to worry about it. We're going at a blistering 500-600 meters per second as we enter the upper atmosphere here. So we're going to get a lot of really cool re-entry effects right out the gate. And that's fine too. We are very lightly firing our rocket now, and we're going to try to orient ourselves east as best as we can, and then get a stable orbit established. I believe apoapsis is probably not quite where we want it to be, but that's totally fine. We're gonna go ahead and pump it up a notch a little bit, keep it at a 45-degree angle, and this will establish us in an easterly... No, this is west. I got it backwards. That's fine. Who cares? We're already on our way. So let's see. We are waiting to hit about 80 to 90 is where I usually feel pretty comfortable about our actual height up in the atmosphere here. So as soon as we get there, we're going to cut our engines, which is again a button I can't particularly remember at the moment, so we're just going to throttle down. Okay, throttle down. There we go. This has to be up in order to throttle down. That's totally fine. What is the cut our engines button? Hold on. Settings. Audio, where is controls? It won't let me change the controls from here. Okay, fine. That's fine, that's fine. We have no electric charge. Is that right? No, we do have electric charge, it just doesn't display. We have no lights, so that's whatever. And we are waiting to hit apoapsis. So we're going to do this the Cheater Hacks way, which is watch our prograde as it nears the equator there. And once it hits the equator, that basically tells us that we are right about at apoapsis. And then we will slow time down. Okay, that's close enough. Oh, turning very gently. I want to kind of match this as best as I can. And then turn up the thrusters. And watch this thing grow as it goes. We're going to still gain a little bit of height, but not a whole lot, and that's totally fine. And then hopefully we just have enough fuel. Staging, docking, orbit map. It doesn't show me the fuel on this. I think that's expected for the most part. And again, can be fixed by actually getting certain mods, which I have been resistant to. So, let's see. We're halfway through our fuel. We're still pointing at the equator. Trying to hopefully get this to preserve itself until which point we can actually establish a decent orbit around the planet, and hopefully not run out of fuel at the same time. That would be great. If we can not run out of fuel, I'd be a happy guy. Okay, so looks like we probably need a few more boosters maybe, but that's neither here nor there. We're almost there. Yes, okay, it is X. X cuts the thrusters, and that's what I wanted to know. Alright, let's extend this a little bit more until we can get our periapsis to match our apoapsis. Yep, that's going to work. 83, 192. It's a little much, but it'll do. Alright, cool. Alright, so we have established an orbit. Now we want to circularize, which is a for real science term, guys. I think actually it is, but That's pretty much what we're going to do. There we go. That's the warning. Can't go above 50x until we hit a certain threshold, and we hit the threshold, so now we can go 100x. Not that it takes a really long time to do an orbit. Like, actual orbits take minutes, so they're terrifyingly fast. Like, truly the stuff of, like, Eldritch Horror fast. Let's see, how much fuel do we have left? We have enough to circularize and then deorbit if we need to. Or when we need to, I should say. But we're going to get a really comfortable orbit here, and that pleases me. If we get stuck in space, I don't know. We'll leave Jebediah up here as a monument to himself and his awesomeness until we get claws and we can bring him back down or mount a rescue mission. And that'll be a while, but, you know, such is the cost of science, etc. Alright, what do we want? We want... Whoa, let's see, 192, 144. When it starts turning, it means it's kind of equalizing out a little bit. That's circular enough for me, dang it. Gosh darned it, we don't have enough fuel to actually change our orbit. Like, we can kind of change the angle of our orbit, and that's kind of what I wanted to do, so we can go north, but we'll just launch another rocket that goes north, and that will cover all of our bases as far as EVA reports and the like require. Let's see, crew report. Do we get anything for this? Space near Kerbin? No. Okay. EVA. And let's go ahead and get an EVA report. No, nothing fancy for this one. Let's board and wait until we go over another terrain here. That's basically what we're shooting for, is just finding different terrain and getting EVA reports above it. Alright. Oh, how about we grab? That's going to help. EVA report. Yes, perfect. Okay. We're going to board and continue on our way around the planet. So beautiful. Alright. And grab. EVA report. Yes. Keep data. Board. Cancel. Can we store experiment? Not all items could be stored. Ugh. Cancel. Board. Okay, board anyways. And review stored data. Above Kerbin's Island. Yeah, we're going to transmit that data. And then... let's see, what does our power look like? We don't have a lot of it. Alright, EVA. Grab. EVA report. And that's just above... okay, never mind. Okay, well, whatever. We lost our window there for that, and now we are out of power, so we can't really charge anymore, or we can't really get any more EVA reports until we have either A, more electric charge from thrusting, or B, cross over another landmass, really. We've already got the coastal one, so we don't have to worry about that so much. There's the moon. Hi, moon. We're going to conquer you one day. Let me see. Can we see Minmus? Where is Minmus? In relation... yeah, it's right about there. So in theory, we could see it. It might just look like a star, though. Whoop. Minmus. You're around, you're out there somewhere. I'm not quite seeing it. This feels like one of those moments where if I was watching my own video, I'd be like, it's right there! It's right there! Okay, so... let's just go ahead and do this. I think maybe there's one more type of terrain we might be able to pass over. That's more coastal. I'm looking for desert. I think desert is what I want. This might work. Let's see. Oh, that looks kind of deserty, doesn't it? Yeah, let's see if we can get something from that. Well, let's hope we're close enough at least. And it's not like we could just rocket over there or anything. Ballistics doesn't work like that. Alright, EVA. Grab. EVA report. Yes. Okay, cool. Alright, now, board. Let's see if we can actually land in the desert. That'll be the trick. That'll be the trick that I want to pull off here. Now, I don't think I have enough fuel for landing in the desert right there. So what we're going to do... and there's our Chicxulub crater, the Kerbin equivalent. Let's go ahead and we're going to warp until we get to about here in our orbit. Actually, you know what? Here we go. This is a good time to introduce this. Let's add a maneuver. And so we get this little maneuver node. And what that allows us to do is kind of hack our way into figuring out what we need to do. Let's see, estimated burn 1 second. That's good. Yeah, we want as little burn time as possible, and we want to overshoot it just a little bit because we'll lose a lot of speed once we re-enter. So about there, that might be able to get us. Yeah, estimated burn 5 seconds. That's totally fine. What that's going to do is allow us to hopefully land right there in the desert. And then, so now what we need to do is go map. We have extra information down here. So, and that extra information is how long it is until we get to the maneuver node. And then on our screen here, we'll have 2 new icons. Actually, I think we'll just have 1 new icon. I'm thinking of something else. But this icon tells us where we need to be pointed in order to do our 5-second burn that will allow us to land, hopefully in the desert. And then we have a meter here that tells us the amount of delta V that we need to achieve in order to make that maneuver happen, which can be a bit tricky. So we're going to fast forward. We're going to fast forward. We're going to fast forward some more. And we're going to continue fast forwarding as we cruise around the planet here. So beautiful. Oh. Is this going to give me anything? Here's a good question. Recovery. Keep data. Like, that's such a pointless amount, but, you know, waste not, want not, basically. Alright, so 10 minutes. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and there we go. Just barely made it. I meant to do that. And hopefully we'll be landing on the dark side of Kerbin, which is a little less scenic, but we'll be landing nonetheless. So let's go ahead and do our burn. Go, 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 go. And we're going to readjust and burn some more. And, okay, there we go. We have achieved what we needed to achieve, more or less. We're going to do some fine-tuning here just to make sure it matches. Let's see. Well, what does it look like? Yeah, that's not quite where we want to be. So we're going to go ahead and... Is that for real? Is that what they want us to do? Okay. Yeah, you know what? That's probably about as good as we're going to get it. We can try to burn retrograde. So prograde, again, is the one with the circle, and retrograde is the one with the X, and X means that we'll be pointing away from the direction we're heading. And since we're trying to go slower to kind of land, I'm just going to go ahead and go for it. Let's go ahead and, first of all, let's get rid of this maneuver node. Again, I am not a rocket scientist. I am playing a game on a computer, so feel free to correct me all you want all day long, but it's not going to change anything. There are, again, some mods I do kind of want to get, just because I think they have really good uses tool-wise that I think would probably do nothing but benefit me. So there we go. You see, just this little amount of fuel is making the difference of tons of kilometers in our descent plan here. So I think that should do it. Let's see how well I can land this thing. We're going to go ahead and decouple. There we go. So now it's just us, our science, and a parachute standing in our way of complete annihilation and obliteration. So, of course, this piece is going to now fly off in space. It's not going to be able to maintain an orbit on its own, so what'll happen is it'll get outside of a certain range and then just be deleted, which is fine, which is totally fine. And if we're lucky, it might even land on the ground. Hey, that's where our flag was. It's about... yeah, obligatory flag right there. Very close to where we landed before. We won't be planting a flag again because that tends to clutter the map a little bit and gets kind of annoying in my own personal opinion. Let's go ahead and speed this up. There's no reason not to now. So, speeding up, speeding up, speeding up, speeding up, speeding up, speeding up, speeding up. Oh, and we're going to overshoot the desert by quite a bit, it looks like. I figured we'd be in atmosphere by now, and I was completely wrong. Unless we get really lucky here. Maybe I should have kept those rockets until I had a better idea of how I was going to land this thing. But now that we are approaching the atmosphere, we'll start slowing down just a teensy bit. And yes, there's the atmosphere. We'll start... We are still gaining speed because there's very little air resistance. Yeah, we're not going to land in the desert at all. Not at all! And there we go. We are heating up pretty beautifully, really. Let's see. There we go. Now our pointed retrograde. And, yeah, we're going to now hopefully land without too much hassle. Okay, here we go. Yay. On our way back home. Give it a second. And how about we go a little bit faster? This does... That's the one thing about this game, is it's kind of real-time it's a very real-time feeling for how these things kind of tend to happen. And if you're not a very patient person, it can get a little tiresome. Just a teensy bit. Okay, cool. We're going to go ahead and deploy our parachute. That's going to create a little bit of extra drag for us, and then we will speed up again. So we're quite a ways from the ground. We don't need to worry really until the parachute opens, and that'll be our, oh yeah, hey, we're about to land kind of moment. So it looks like we are kind of landing in the mountains, and yeah, I probably won't get anything from the surface sample, but I'll at least attempt one, just in case. You never know. This could be considered the Highlands for all I know, and that could have a totally different thing to it. Alright, we're not going to have a shadow because it's the dark side. Shadows are incredibly important in determining where you're going to land exactly. But yeah, Kerbin's blocking the way, and that's a problem. That's a little bit of a problem. So we're going to try to hopefully watch the horizon as best as we can and try to read these textures as they become more and more clear. And then what I want to do is slow down time again, because sometimes whenever you sped up time, you'll crash anyways, regardless of your parachute. And that's just the nature of the time warp. Okay, cool. So EVA, let go. And he's going to fall because he's a Kerbal. Let's go take surface sample. And it's worth some science, so that's fine. EVA report, and it's worth nothing. Okay, cool. And then we're going to walk back over here, grab, board, recover. Hooray! Everybody rejoice, etc. And we got 27 science for that, so it's not like we didn't get anything. Let's go ahead and research this and get better parachutes and some landing devices, and start our way into electronics here. How much is this? This is 45 science. We do not have enough for that. Where are our... the big thing I want to get is solar panels. What is that? Oh, that's the new comms. That's fine. We got new comms, we got new parachute, landing struts, and a very, very low thrust engine, which is fantastic for trying to position yourself on, say, the moon, which is where we will try to start heading very soon after this. We're probably going to end up just orbiting the moon and maybe fly by Minmus as well to try to get some extra science together, and that will be the next couple of missions, and hopefully that will give us enough science to be able to get the pieces that we need in order to create a oh, interesting. Yeah, these are all jet parts. You can make planes, and planes are kind of fun. Small control surface. Elevator, rudder, or aileron. Oh, interesting. I need to explore this a little more, because I have some ideas for if I want to go to other planets, how I would explore them and whatnot. I want to try that out. Plus also, Scott Manley is an inspiring person. There's my Scott Manley plug for this episode. Alright. Yeah, so let's try to come up with a ship that would be very good for interplanetary travel, and then try to make that work. So here's where we start discovering that I am terrible at this game. Just full disclosure, I never said I was good at this game, I just said I liked it. So basically what we want to do is create several stages where, and I realize we're getting close on time, but it's not over yet. We want to create several stages, and these stages are going to be integral to our ability to be able to do whatever we want, really. So here's our last stage, ostensibly our last stage. Let's go ahead and set a color, structural color, there we go. And then science, of course, is mandatory. Let's do 2. Drain all the science out of the outer areas of the moon. And then this. Excellent. We do not want 2 of those. We just want 1. That'll be fine. That'll work. And then, yeah, an antenna, just because antenna, basically. And, okay, so cool. Actually, we put that, that's our new nose cone. It's probably a terrible idea, but did it actually attach? I can't tell. I think it did. Yeah, it attached. Okay, cool. So now we have a nose cone. Whatever. No big deal. And, yes, so now what we need... That's not going to go through atmosphere. This will, however, be... So this last stage is going to be kind of our interplanetary get back home kind of stage. So whatever things we need to do to fix our route in order to get to other planets, that will help. This will be helping us escape Kerbin's orbit. So how this is going to work, and there we go, like that, is we're going to mount some fairly hefty rockets to this. Or at least what I imagine to be fairly hefty rockets. Let's see, we want to do like so. How centered is that? It's fairly centered. And then there we go. And then let's see if this will work, if I can get it to do this. No, not at all. Okay, so we'll move this up a little bit higher. Let's go like this. This is a lot of fuel, I realize. Like, if you're actually making a spaceship, like in real life, don't go by what I do. I figure that goes without saying, but just in case, this is not the correct way to distribute your weight on a spaceship. There we go. And there's that, and we're going to need some struts. Alright, and since that's going to cause some unbalance and some torquey, spinny kind of stuff happening, we're going to make sure we have some on either side there. So there we go, that's pretty solid. We'll do a few more right here, just to make sure it doesn't rattle apart from one another. And then all of these are going to have their own engines. Fantastico. So there we go. That's correct. We've got all of these blowing apart, and those engines firing, and then all of those firing. And then what we're going to do is add collars, little explosive chokers to all of these. And then we're going to combine that here. And just so we have a buffer, we're going to make sure that happens. And now we have solid fuel boosters that will help. So the basic idea is we're still not done. I'm going to add even more rockets. I kind of go overboard on the rockets. And that's not how you build a spaceship. Once again, I realize this. You want low weight as much as possible, but I really don't understand the ratios that well. So this is where it's just going to be fun. That's all, guys. Don't worry about it. It's all for fun. So basically, this last stage is hopefully going to get us from one planet to another. These are going to help us make sure we have an orbit and can maintain it, and then will help us get to the moon and or Minmus. Oh, by the way, this is going to be the satellite. Come round the moon. No, wait. Satellite poker. And then come around the moon. And the insert Dave Matthews. Beautiful mumbling. That's about right. I love Dave Matthews. He's an amazing artist, and I really like him, but sometimes I just don't know what the fuck he's saying. That's all there is to that. Okay, cool. So we've got these rockets that will help us much later on. We're going to go ahead and start putting some fins on here, just because that will help us, if nothing else, maintain control if we start spinning, or help us not spin, basically. That's what the fins are really good for. The thing with Kerbal Space Program is it doesn't have the best aerodynamic capabilities as far as like computing wise goes. There we go. There's that. Yep, that's one more stage down. And we're going to combine these two stages here. And then we're just going to add a shit ton of rockets. Alright. Let's put this a little bit higher up. Help things be a little bit more stable. There we go. Solid rocket boosters. Yes. Okay, so that's there. And then 4 on each of these. Like I said, I like to make birthday cakes in this game. That's what I call them, because they're like upside down rocketry birthday cakes. That's the best descriptor I could possibly come up with ever. So yeah, here we go. There's the ship. We got the satellite poker. Hopefully that will be enough to actually get us into orbit. That remains to be seen, however. I realize it's a very heavy ship. That's a lot of fuel. This is not a very efficient design, or even a good one, or a good idea for that matter. Here we go. Just for a little bit of added control and stability, we need to make sure there's fins all over this damn thing. This is also why career mode with money is not something I'm good at. I like it though. It's so good. Okay, cool. So basically, the moon is our dartboard. We're going to be throwing darts at the moon and Minmus, and hopefully this will be enough to take care of both of those missions. And all will be really good, and the Kerbins will rejoice. We're reinforcing the structure right now. But yeah, we're not launching this in this episode. We're launching it in the next episode. Man, I love my ability to create a hook in this series so far. It's good stuff. So, yeah, this is Cardboard Decoy playing Kerbal Space Program, the bestest game I've ever wanted to play voluntarily. So, yes, basically. That's kind of an odd statement. I'll leave it there, and you can ponder that as much as you feel is necessary. But yeah, so next episode, we will launch this thing. I'm going to go roll it out to the launch pad, and we can look at it to get an idea of the scale and scope, and then, yeah, we'll see if it actually works or not. Next episode on Cardboard Decoy Plays Kerbal Space Program. So, yeah, until then, have fun.